In today's show, we're taking a look at the Shimoda Explore backpack, my favorite backpack of all time. Hey everyone, welcome into Magnolia Photography SC. I'm Jeff House and I'm a wildlife photographer in Charleston, South Carolina. And today we're doing a little bit of a different video. We're going to take a look at a product. Obviously, you got the name of the product on the opener. We're looking at the Shimoda backpack. This is by far my favorite backpack for photography of all time. As a matter of fact, it's my favorite camera bag for photography of all time. And if you are anything like me, you are a camera bag addict. I do. I have a serious problem, and trust me, my wife will confirm this. I have always saying how much I love camera backpacks, and she is saying, no, you have a problem. You have a serious camera bag problem. And I can't argue it because she's right. But I know, being around photographers pretty much for a very long time, I know a lot of people feel the same way I do. A lot of people have this addiction to camera bags, and I have tried everything over the years, and this is the one I truly believe is going to be the one that I settle with for a very long time. I think the only way I would get rid of it is if something were to happen to it. But I want to talk about some of those bags that I've used in the past. Have any of you ever used the Pelican, the hard case Pelican things? I used that back when I was shooting weddings. And, I love the bag. I love the fact that it's a case, it's hard case, right? Does a great job of protecting your equipment, but it was bulky, it was heavy, and it was cumbersome to move around while trying to photograph a wedding. And then I went to more of a soft case, more of a suitcase. That too, like the Pelican, was a rolling case, but it wasn't quite as bulky as the Pelican. It was still heavy. And unfortunately, from what I have found in wedding photography, right, it's really hard to get around that. It's really hard to get around the weight because you have to bring so much equipment with you. And I am just not a huge fan of leaving my equipment in the car while I'm photographing a wedding, because I always feel like that one piece that you leave in the car is the piece you need at the time, or someone breaks into your car and just steals your equipment, right? So those were never really valid options for me. I never wanted to go that route. I always wanted to make sure that I had the equipment I needed on me. So I've gone through those types of bags, and I've gone through, oh my God, I can't even count. I can't even give you a number to estimate how many bags I've gone through because it's been so many. But I've gone through various backpacks. I've gone through various shoulder bags. As a matter of fact, before I settled on the soft case for wedding photography, I was trying to use like 3 or 4 think tank shoulder bags, and I was trying to stuff them with equipment, and that was a mistake because I was carrying too many bags. It was really hard to carry 4, 5, 6 types of shoulder bags and also keep track of that throughout the wedding day, right? Every time you move, you got to make sure you've got all those bags. So easy to leave something behind. And once again, you're in that position where you're forgetting equipment, you're losing equipment. And that's just never good as a photographer. We all know and appreciate how expensive our equipment is. So again, went through some different shoulder bags. I've done the briefcase style. I have done, like the rectangular bags that are kind of shorter and chunkier. These are bags that I do like, and there are different occasions where they do come in handy, and it's kind of nice to have something that looks a little bit more, or I should say a little bit less like a camera bag, right? It's a little bit easier to conceal the fact that you're carrying thousands of dollars of photography equipment. So I've tried all of those. And again, there are times when I do go to a bag like that where I'm looking for something that's smaller and a little bit more of a mobile option. But for wildlife photography, we have, I think, very specific needs, right? Because we're typically shooting with these longer, bigger lenses. And so transporting them becomes a real issue. And so I wanted a bag where I could fit that lens, but I also wanted to be able to fit other equipment. There may be some other camera bags out there that are far cheaper than this, maybe even a little bit smaller, that will fit a lens like I'm using, right? The Sony 200 to 600 lens. But the problem is that in many of those bags, once you throw that lens in there, you are really limited for the rest of the equipment that you can fit into that bag. This bag opens up some options, and that was really my big attraction to this bag. Now, you're gonna make a little bit of an investment to get a Shimoda bag, but I can tell you right now, the materials that it's made from far exceed any bag I've ever seen. I mean, this thing is rugged. And it's one of those materials too that is very, it's very easy to clean, right? It's very friendly in that regard. So if you set it down and you get some grass marks on it or a little bit of mud, you can wipe this down. Might even be able to use some mild cleaning agents on it, like a dish soap or something like that if you had some tougher stains. But what a great durable bag this is. Again, it's an investment. We're talking about $400 to $450 to get a bag like this, but it's customizable to some degree. So in the back, and we're going to go through just a few of the pockets because I just want you to kind of get an overall look and feel for the bag. But if we take a look at the back, and that's one of the benefits to this bag, you will notice that your main compartment here on the back, right? Very heavy duty zippers that will come back here. But when you're wearing this, this part is against your back. So what that prevents is carrying a backpack where someone could come up, especially if you get into a situation where maybe you're in a crowd of people, because you could use this in an urban setting as well. But if you're walking through a crowd and you have a backpack where this is what faces the people behind you, someone could, in the distraction of a lot of people, could unzip that, sneak a hand in there, and very easily steal some equipment. So this is a nice safety feature, and you will find this on a lot of other backpacks. But the better, higher end backpacks typically all have this type of setup so that you have a little bit of a security feature. So when you open this up, you have your main compartment. And what I like about this bag is that inside of here, which you obviously can't see, but there is a wire frame that goes around here, which just gives the bag its actual support. So when you receive this bag in shipping, you're going to get a rather big box, because this backpack, like many others, doesn't come vacuum sealed in a Ziploc bag, right? And you take it out and a couple hours later, it's to its full size. This thing comes like this. It comes full size. So it comes in a pretty big box. What I really liked about this bag is that you will notice inside here, we've got these blue compartments, right? So this is where I put my wildlife lens. Then I've got several other compartments here that I can put other cameras, other lenses, other accessories, whatever I want. And I can pack a lot in here because not only is this bag big, but it's deep. And that brings me to this point. When you are buying this bag, you have one extra expense, and that's what adds to the total price of it, making it around that $400 to $450 mark. You get to choose the insert that you want. Now they make different sizes, right? Like a small, medium, large type of thing. But then they also make an insert that is basically built for mirrorless camera systems, right? So the depth of the insert will be much shallower because of mirrorless camera equipment tending to be a little bit smaller. They also have the DSLR insert, which is what you are looking at right here. And what that provides is an insert with more depth. And I went that route because of all the videos that I researched when it came to this bag. What people were saying, and what is a great thought, is that with the deeper compartments, that allows you to put things in there and stack them, right? So you're effectively gaining some storage space because simply that you're having a deeper bag. So I really like that. I'm glad I went that route, and it's what I would recommend that you do too. So again, the DSLR insert in the Shimoda bag. Now these Shimoda bags are sold by liter sizes, right? You have 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, and I think this particular model goes all the way up to 70 liters. Now they have a limited color selection is what I would say. They have blacks, they have a lot of olive greens, they have this yellow, which I think is just the best looking bag that they have. I think this is the coolest looking bag. It gets a lot of compliments, people really love it, and I love the inside color matched up with this yellow bag. I just think it looks pretty stunning, pretty cool, and big reason why I went with the yellow. You can also see it really well when you're out taking hikes or doing different things. So if you do a lot of woodland walks and maybe you have hunters around, having a yellow bag may not be such a bad idea. But I went with the 40-liter size when it came to this bag. And the reason I did that was I was planning on taking this bag on flights, right? So I wanted something that could go in as a carry-on and not be too bulky to have to be a checked bag, because I never, ever want to check my photography equipment. Another surefire way to have your equipment stolen. So I did a lot of research on this bag, and I saw a lot of photographers that had went with the 50-liter bag, and they all said that they were able to bring that bag on a plane, put it into the carry-on space, and they didn't have any issues. But the bag was really right at the max size for carry-on. So that made me just a little bit nervous, but they did have a good idea. If you ran into a problem, you could always remove the insert that has your equipment, because it does have a soft shell that zips up, so you could actually cover the compartment area, right, with a thin fabric zipped type of setup. So you could pull it out and that would simply fit on a plane with you, but then your equipment's not in a bag. If you put it in the overhead compartment, you know how equipment or bags and stuff get thrown around the overhead compartments. In fact, every time you get to after a landing, right, they say, be careful when opening the overhead compartments because things may have shifted. You don't want your equipment getting pounded by other luggage as you're flying. So, I mean, it's there in a pinch if you needed to go that route, but that's why I went with the 40-liter bag and stayed away from the 50. I figured go just a little bit smaller, sacrifice just a little bit of size, and in the end, you'll have a bag that will most likely not have any issues when you're flying. Now, coincidentally, I was flying just last week. So my wife and I had to fly back to New York. I brought my bag with my equipment, and I use this as one of my carry-on items. I did not have any problems with bringing this bag on a plane. In fact, this fits in the overhead compartment very easily. You will not have any issues in that regard. I actually put this bag under the seat in front of me. As you know, you can do that with one of your carry-on items if it fits. Now, I wasn't sure if this bag was going to fit underneath the seat. I was pleasantly surprised to see that not only did it fit, but it had a little extra space. So it was good in that regard. The only thing that happened while traveling with this bag was we were essentially on 4 different flights because we had one layover. So we would fly to the layovers, where we were picking up our connecting flight. Then we would fly from there to New York, and we did the same thing coming back. On the last leg coming back to Charleston, the flight attendant said to me, "That's a little big. Do you think maybe you could put that up in the overhead compartment?" And she looked at it for a second, and she just dropped it and left me alone. She's like, it's fine. So I had that one little bump in the road, if you will. But the point is worst case scenario, it would have just went up in the overhead compartment above me, still well protected inside of this bag. Now, I wanted it in front of me because I had some other things that I was planning on using on the plane, like a book and some headphones for listening to music and stuff like that. But it worked, and that's the point that I want to make here. You can use it as a carry-on. It should fit underneath the seat in front of you, and I don't think you should really have too many problems, even if you want to keep it on the ground in front of you. I still had plenty of leg room having this bag on the floor. So those were a couple of big reasons why I got this bag. So I wanted to point that out. Again, the 40-liter size with the DSLR compartment that goes inside here. You order these 2 things separately, and when they arrive, obviously you just slip that in and you're good to go, and then you can customize it however you want, because all of these are obviously adjustable like any other camera bag, so that you can fit it to your specific needs. Love this bag as far as that goes. Inside here, we have a laptop, and this is very well padded. So a nice laptop spot that's really well padded. This will fit my 16-inch MacBook Pro. So I've had it in there, no problem. You're good to go if you have a larger laptop. If you have something smaller, obviously it's just going to make it that much easier. So if we take a look at the strapping system back here too, these straps, there's kind of like a ladder type of thing here, small, medium, and large. And you can change that to adjust your shoulder straps. I have it on large, and from the reviews and all the research that I did, most photographers kept it on the large. That seemed to be the most comfortable. Now, when you do have this on, like many backpacks, it will clip across your chest, so you do have that extra support. There is a waist belt that also comes with this. Now, I don't like waist belts. I'm not going out into the mountains or into the deep woodlands, and I'm not going on these super long, extravagant hikes where something like that might be beneficial. It might make your hike a little bit more comfortable carrying this bag, but this bag is very, very comfortable. I will say that. A lot of these backpacks will really start to wear on your shoulders after a while. These straps, they have padding. They're not the thickest in the world, but surprisingly, they do a great job with how they distribute the weight with this bag. And I've never had any issues with shoulder pain or fatigue from just carrying the bag. Now, while we're on the straps, that brings me to a couple things. We have, of course, a couple ringlets here, which you can hang different things off of this, so it makes it very convenient. Each strap has a zippered pocket. These will both fit an iPhone 15. So I have the iPhone 15. I can comfortably fit it in there. I have business cards in here. You can fit candy bars or other snacks in here. So it's just a couple of little compartments, easy to get to, pretty handy, and they work really, really well. So when we come around to the sides of the bag, and I'm just going to zipper this up quickly. Each side of the bag has a zippered pocket, okay? And when we can just simply take this out, so you can put tripods in here, you can put water bottles in here. So it comes with a nice mesh bag. The only downside I think there is, if you will, is that this does not zipper when you bring this bag out. So if you were out in the rain, this could be a point of entry for water. I don't know how big of a deal that's really going to be. I don't do a ton of hiking in the rain on purpose. So I'm not overly concerned about this, to be honest. I do think there's also a flap here, so I think the rain would kind of fall off of it anyway. But two bags on both sides that come in very handy for your tripods and water bottles. So I do like those pockets. They are super convenient and very easy to get to and very easy to pack up. Now on the front of the bag, we have another laptop pocket. So we could open this up, and again, you can put a 16-inch laptop in the front of this. That is very handy. And then there are also a back pocket in here, so you could fit a couple other things. If you had an iPad or something along those lines, you could also fit that behind the laptop space. It has some pockets in here. This is where I tend to keep memory cards, but they got nice zippered pockets, and you can fit quite a bit of storage in those right there. We can open this top part, and we have two different bags. So if we take this bag out, we can unzip this, and inside we have a key ring, so you could actually clip your keys to it and make sure that they're secure while you're hiking, and it's in a nice zipped pouch. And you can see this pouch is pretty bulky. It allows you to hold quite a bit of stuff. I do have a mouse cord in here, and then you have this little bag which can go on the very front of this, and it connects to these hooks. But you could put like a bike helmet or some kind of helmet on here, and then this would go over and you would clip it down to the four corners, and that will keep everything attached to the bag and one less thing that you need to worry about carrying. So we do have that pouch right here inside. Now, if we push that back in, there is one more pouch here that is a little bit more settled in. But you can open this up too. And again, it's another huge, huge spot to keep a lot of different things. So you can keep your extra batteries here. You can keep cords. If you have a mouse for your laptop, whatever the case may be, extra hard drives. There's a lot of space in these two pockets right here for you to store your accessories. And then lastly, the bag has this top part, which if we unclip, this will unroll. And now we have another spot here that we can store additional stuff. A lot of people will throw a raincoat in here or some other kind of clothing, or even food. You know, if you have something that you want to pack to eat along the way. All of that can fit in here, and I believe this provides another 7 liters of storage on top of the bag itself. So you can get a lot of stuff into this bag, and it simply just rolls up. Now, if you're using this for flying, if we go back to that, I would limit what you put in this top part unless you're going to plan on putting the bag in the overhead compartment. If you want to set your feet, filling this top part up is definitely going to make that bag come out even further. And I think at that point you would have an issue. So if you do a lot of flying with this bag, keep that in mind. Other than that, I don't really think that there's anything else that I wanted to share with you about this bag, but this has been a big decision for me going with this bag. I don't usually like to spend this much on a bag because of the fact I go through them so quickly and I change my mind so often. But this really seemed to be a solution for me that I could use long term. So I really wanted to give this a try because I really do believe it is the answer. And so far, I have to say it is. I've gone out on several local hikes with the bag when I'm doing wildlife photography. I get all the equipment that I need to bring with me, including the tripod. And as you know, I typically use a monopod, not a tripod. But even with the gimbal head on there, I can put it in this pocket. I can strap it down and secure it up, tighten it up, and it works really well. So if you are in the market for one of these bags, I highly encourage you to check out the Shimoda. This is the Explore bag. Again, 40 liters with the DSLR insert. So check it out. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at B&H Photo, Adorama. All the major camera stores will carry this bag. Little investment, but well worth the money if you ask me. Hey, that's it for this video, guys. Let me know if you have any experience with Shimoda bags and what you think. Are you using one currently? I would like to know that as well. And if you've never used one before and you found this video helpful, are you going to give it a try? Are you going to invest a little bit more money into a really nice, high quality camera bag? If you like this video, share it, like it, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. I'd certainly appreciate that. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you guys all in the next video. Until then, take care.